coffee in the big time, yeah.
Oh, yeah!
Nobody does it better.
Tip of the elbow to your owl. It is September 18th, 2017, and I welcome you all. I welcome you all right here to the Cadillac of Podcast of Wrestling. I welcome you to the world premiere episode of Lariat Latte. I am your host, your quintessential stud muffin, DeeJay, flying solo for this unveiling episode of Lariat Latte. Just give you some background. Initially, we were supposed to have 4 people for the podcast. Jake, the Mark from Parts Unknown, Marcus, and the babyface to swoon the masses, Broku. But unfortunately, a lot of personal stuff got in the way of them coming to meet up and doing the podcast. And I've already taken a bunch of notes and watched all the stuff, so it'd be a shame to waste all the time that I did to watch all the stuff. So next week, hopefully we will have the whole crew. But for right now, figured, you know what? I have all these notes. I have all these remarks. Let me throw my hat into the circle, throw my trunks into the ring, and join the thousands upon thousands of other wrestling podcasts. Just throw my lifeless, heaping body onto the pile of wrestling podcast corpses that are already a mass on the internet. But, you know, been wanting to do, I like to talk about wrestling. I talk about it with all the guys at my job, or whoever I find that actually will admit to liking wrestling. And, you know, I like to talk about it, and I figured, you know what? Doing a podcast gives me an excuse to keep on watching the product, because God knows at this point I need an excuse to sit through all of the wrestling that is shoved down our throats on a weekly basis. There's more wrestling now than there ever has been on a weekly basis, for sure. So why not? Let's give it a shot. Worst comes to worst, we can always bail out, as you will, kind of cut the contract short, job out. So before we go into the news, or go into my week of wrestling, like to start it off how we'll always try, or at least try to start out each episode, with today's esoteric wrestling fact, based on the number 1, because we will be basing each esoteric fact on the number of the podcast that we are on, and of course this is a grand reveal, so of course it'd be the number 1. So our esoteric fact today is James Storm, who has literally only had 1 match for WWE. He came in, had a match on NXT. Forget who he wrestled. It'll come to me. I think it was just a jobber or something. Maybe it was a hippie. I'm not gonna get it. It's the hippie guy that I think is in New Japan now. I saw him on something. But yeah, James Storm literally came in for a cup of coffee, had 1 match on NXT, and went right back to Impact Wrestling. That that killer brand. So for right now, he's only had one match. So hopefully, I mean, I'd love to see James Storm. I mean, I liked what I saw in NXT. I haven't really watched any of his stuff on Impact, but he seemed cool. And Bobby Roode's there. I mean, he's on the main roster now. So, you know, hopefully he'll come back and he'll realize that Impact is just a dying cause and a dying brand. So, how has my wrestling week been? Well, besides watching all the product that's been going on, I've been trying to do a little something. And that's use the network to my advantage and actually go back and watch, you know, I kind of want to sit down and watch all, like, the entire history, or as much as I can, or, like, that it's available to me. Watch all the matches and all the storylines of a particular wrestler. And right now I'm doing one of my boys, Goldust. So I'm actually sitting down watching all of his matches, starting from when he was in WCW as the Natural Dustin Rhodes, and all the way to he came into Goldust, and you know, the artist formerly known as Goldust, Dustin Reynolds, when he was for, like, I think maybe 2-3 months, when he was you know, pretending to be, like, kind of like a right-wing Christian, not right-wing, but, like, you know, God is coming. But he wasn't coming. It was just Goldust coming. Last thing that I've watched was Goldust is in a feud with Val Venus, which is actually really good stuff, and that's a really good person to have for him to have a feud with. Like, Val Venus will do, because Val Venus, how it started was Val Venus was sleeping with his wife, who he abandoned for Luna, to do all that weird, kooky bullshit with the Ars Formula, his Goldust. So, like, he would do it with, like, I'd like to show you my new film, The Preacher's Wife. And, like, you know, I liked that stuff. I thought it was, like, a really cool thing, because, like, Goldust had, like, you know, his little films that he named, and Val Venus would do it, but only with, like, sex tape themed ones. And I thought it was, like, great stuff. And also, I gotta admit, Val Venus is a boy, too, because what was it? The pay-per-view that they fought at? I think it was Judgment Day of 1998, where he fought Goldust. And my God, Val Venus can go, man. Like, Val Venus, you know, he has a really, I mean, it wouldn't fly in PG now, but he had a really cool, like, gimmick. At least I thought it was. It's better than Godfather, who just comes out with hose. He utilized it with all the sex tape things, stuff like that, but he can really wrestle. I mean, you know, he's not, I wouldn't see him on the caliber as, like, a top guy, but, like, you know, one of those, like, top of the mid-card guys, Val Venus could go. He deserves a lot more, love, because, that man put on one hell of a match with Goldust, and Goldust is alright. He's, like, the appeal of Goldust is more his promos and, like, you know, his vignettes and stuff like that. That's really more the appeal of Goldust. He's just a really good performer rather than a wrestler. I mean, he's not awful at wrestling, but he's very bare bones, you know, like the Bulldogs and all that stuff. I mean, he's also just a big guy compared to, like, Cody and, like, his father, Dustin Rhodes. I mean, like, he's just big. I think he's, like, 6'2", maybe 6'3". Like, he's a big guy. So, yeah, I've been doing that. I was, just watching all that stuff, and, I guess the only other, like, wrestling-related thing was, I've been watching Season 5 of Arrow. That's, Arrow, I have a love-hate relationship with the CW show Arrow, because, the first 2 seasons were really good. I think third season's alright too. No, third season when it started going downhill, and, like, it was just starting to be shit. It's like, oh man, I'm Oliver Queen, I'm the man that, you know, has to save this city, but I can't have a girlfriend because they'll kill you. Oh man, all my past, oh, look at these scars, I have to protect the city with these scars. It's just, like, it's infuriating, but I find it's a decent show. I mean, if you have the slightest bit of interest in Arrow, I would say just go watch it because it's worth it for that much. If you don't have any interest, I'd say don't bother and just watch the Marvel stuff on Netflix. The Marvel stuff on Netflix is way better than the Arrow stuff, in my opinion. But Arrow's decent. I haven't watched. I've heard from my friend Bob that Flash is pretty good. I know he makes hams, but anyway, back to what actually was wrestling related. Cody Rhodes. I watched the episode that Cody Rhodes was in, and for half the show, he had no talking roles when he first premiered, and he was selling the drug Stardust. On the nose, really on the nose. You get it? Because his character was Stardust. You get it? I'm winking. I don't know if you can hear the winking, but it's very intense winking because, you know, subtle. He was fine. I mean, he was just he like his character. I don't even know he's really based on like a DC property, but his character like fell into like the substance that they were using to make the Stardust, and he became like this genetic guy that can't feel any pain. And he finally got some talking roles, but they weren't really great. So, yeah, it was nice to see Cody doing it, but very lackluster appearance for sure. And yeah, I mean that's pretty much it for all the wrestling things besides you know, all the stuff that I've been watching. So a lot of things have happened this week. So a lot of interesting stuff. Mae Young Classic Finals came through. We are actually recording a separate podcast, Lariat Latte with extra sugar. That's going to be the name of all the little extra things that, like pay-per-views and stuff like that. Because if we added the pay-per-views to all the stuff we talk about regularly on the show, we'd be here like all day. I'll keep it a little brief. Loved it. A lot of the people that I really liked from the tournament. Some of my faves, my top faves, Bianca Belair. I mean, my God, her match with Kairi Sane, my opinion, that was the best match of the entire tournament. Kairi Sane and Bianca Belair killed it, nailed it. And it's freaking amazing that Bianca Belair has only been doing this so far for a year. And Mark Henry was actually the one that scattered her out, which is fucking great pick that Mark Henry found this girl. They had a great match. Bianca Belair definitely there. Piper Niven. Modern day Bam Bam Bigelow gal. She's a little Bam Bam, a little bit Vader. I mean, for God's sakes, on the indies, her finishing move is the Viper Bomb, and she just does the Vader Bomb. I mean, it's just the Vader Bomb, really. She was great. Her match with Toni Storm was my second favorite match of the entire tournament. Like that. Like, I gotta give Kairi Sane and Bianca Belair the best match of the tournament, but second best definitely goes to Toni Storm and Piper Niven. Like, those two girls killed it. You could see, and like, also you could tell that they were really good friends. They probably, I don't know, like, all their stuff from outside of this tournament, but you could tell that they've wrestled before and they're really just tight, good friends. And they had a great showing. Jazzy Gabbert, who fortunately is signed with WWE. I think the day before the Mae Young Finals, Dave Meltzer announced that he broke word that Jazzy Gabbert was signed, which thank God. I love her gimmick. I love the super villain theme music that she comes out with the flexing, and it's just it's so good. It's so good. I just love the like she's like, you know, the national villain that I want to see. You know, if you're gonna push that friggin' like USA, we don't like you because you're a foreign guy, USA thing, you know, if you did it with Jazzy Gabbert, I would not mind because she is great. Hell, I could see her being teamed up with Lana, honestly. Just a great talent. Sarah Logan, the gal, with that Kentucky Whiskey Strong Style. She was great. Didn't get to see too much of her, unfortunately, because she got eliminated in her match. But she was great. I loved watching her. She definitely has the talent. You could tell that she's a little green still, but she's got a lot of potential. And Mercedes Martinez, which is great. She really solid veteran, like I want to say 16-year veteran of the industry. She had they told a great story with her and Shayna Baszler. Her against Shayna Baszler was definitely my third favorite match, and I think that was Shayna Baszler's best match of the entire tournament. They had a great showing, those two. They started off with like a promo. It's like, oh, Mercedes Martinez was the teacher of Shayna Baszler. She taught her a bunch of stuff. She took her under her wing and stuff like that. And they, giving you a little bit of a story before the match, and they really told the story in that match. And when you're presented with a story and a reason to care about a match, it makes a match so much better. I mean, you could lack in terms of like, amazing ring work and stuff like that, but if you're telling a story in the ring, it makes up for that a lot. And I appreciate that. So Mercedes Martinez, definitely great. Just a really good tournament. I really hope they do it again. It was a great tournament. The finals with Kairi Sane and Shayna Baszler, it's a little short, because we still gotta have 205 live, right? You just gotta shove that down your throat because everyone cares about T.J. Perkins versus Rich Swann, which I love Rich Swann, but you could have given them an hour. You could have had that 6-woman tag that you just threw up on your network. You could have had that with the finals. I don't know why. We gotta have 205 live, Yeah, it was a little short. Definitely the weakest out of Kairi Sane's matches, and Kairi Sane was just bumping her matches up and up and up. They were just getting better and better and better from when they killed it with her first match with God, what is her name? It's escaping me. I feel like such an asshole. What is her name? Oh my god. It's not Rachel Evers. It'll come to me. I know it will. But anyway, Kairi Sane just really doing great in the whole tournament. She really deserved it. I was a little worried that she wasn't going to win and they were just going to have Shayna Baszler win. Just, to hype up this 4 horsewomen versus the 4 horsewomen at WrestleMania. I was worried that they were going to do that, but they didn't. They let Kairi Sane win. Shayna Baszler didn't look weak at all. Shayna Baszler had a great showing in this whole tournament. Just really good, and I hope they do more of these, because I know for a fact that this one definitely got some viewers for the network. So hopefully they'll keep these up because they were great. But that's just kind of my condensed thoughts. If you want to hear more about it, we should have the review up at some point. Hopefully it won't be too long until we get down to that. So with that being said, let us go in Raw.
Now get the cards, the charts from my generation. I'll take the come on, let's get it on. Move to the music, play that fucking music. Move it to the music, yeah. Move to the music, play.
Raw comes to us live from the Honda Center in Anaheim, California, September 11th, 2017. Show starts off with a little memorial thing and a moment of silence for the September 11th attacks. It's to be expected, but kick off with the stiff-necked guard dog of the human patience. The stiff-necked guard dog of human patience. Sorry, I'm reading through notes. Trying to be entertaining. So our kickoff match was Roman Reigns versus Jason Jordan, which was actually a really good match to kick off the show. To It's weird because Jordan has like a new theme now, of course, because she's not with American Alpha. The new theme isn't bad. I enjoy the theme. But his Titantron colors, like it has the green and the silver and stuff like that. It looks a lot like Apollo Crews. And I don't know why they went with those colors specifically. I mean, if you're gonna have him be the son of Kurt Angle, and he just be Kurt Angle, and he's an All-American like wrestler, I mean, why not just go red, white, and blue? That was a little odd choice for me. So I don't know if they're gonna keep the Titantron colors, but I would change them up because Apollo Crews, I mean, not that he's doing that much on SmackDown. No, he is on Raw. Oh my god, that's how much he's not even around. I would definitely change it up to red, white, and blue. Jason in an interview said that he wanted this match to prove that he can hang with the best. Last week he did have a match with John Cena. I did not see that match, but I've heard it was good. It's good that Jason is having matches like that, because they're clearly giving Jason Jordan a push. That's why they put him with Kurt Angle. That's why they brought him to Raw. That's why they separated him from Chad Gable. And they were kind of doing not much with him since the whole Kurt Angle reveal thing. So it's good that they're doing something. Jason Jordan gave a beautiful belly to belly to Roman Reigns. Tried to grapple down Reigns, but he brute forces Roman Reigns brute forces his way out of Jordan's holds. Decent big boot from Roman Reigns. You're not gonna get much compliments from me from Roman Reigns in this match. Reigns went for a Superman punch, but Jordan reverses it into a crossface. He got that into a crossface. Whoa! Why do I sound like a prospector? He reversed it into a crossface, but Roman Reigns breaks it by grabbing the ropes. In the back, John Cena, awkwardly standing, looks on at the match. Jason fights his way out of a headlock, only to be brought down by a Samoan backdrop into a headlock. I do like the Samoan backdrop, but then again, that's not really a hard move to do, but Samoan backdrops are definitely one of my favorite moves. Jordan hits him with an explosive suplex from the corner. Punches Reigns into the corner as he rebounds to deliver a vicious clothesline. Jordan delivering back suplex and awesome drop kick. Dual Northern Light suplex. Just bringing every explosive move he possibly can on the Roman Reigns. Just hitting him as hard as he can with just making him look really strong. Like, he was beating down Roman Reigns at the beginning. Like, he definitely had the most control over the entire match. He puts him in another crossface, but Roman Reigns once again gets the rope break. Jordan runs to Roman in the corner, but misses and hits the metal of the corner. Forget what the hell it's called. This is great. Reigns delivers his Superman punch to a dazed Jordan and gets the spear on him and gets the 3, and both shake after the match. I didn't expect Jordan to win this match. I mean, clearly, Roman's going to win. Roman's going into his big match this week, Sunday, at No Mercy against John Cena. You don't want him to lose to Jason Jordan, even, so that's understandable. Didn't expect Jordan to win, but put on one hell of an opening match. Looked really strong, as I said. Just a really good opening match. One gripe I had about the match was Booker T just won't shut the fuck up. I mean, I'll talk about awful commentators, but Booker T I love the guy. Sugar doogie, quack quack, moment of the, I love all that. But Booker T just talks a mile a minute, just throws all of this stuff at you. Like, he's got to get his spots in on the mic, and it's just, I just find it irritating. John heads to the ring to congratulate Reigns on his victory face-to-face. Roman waits in the ring through the whole 5-minute commercial break because, I guess he's just a nice guy. And he just wanted to wait for John Cena to come out. Ain't in a nightstick for your tactical pants. It's a mic, John says as he hands over Roman Reigns a mic. Get it? It's that John Cena wit. Yay. So Cena just starts shooting on Reigns. Mocks the way he says, "My ya, believe that" slogans, which are very much shit. Roman replies, "I've had better matches than you have had in years. Better matches than you have ever had in years," which is not true, because John Cena has put on way better matches than you have over the past couple of years, friend. John Cena at least had matches that he wasn't booed for the entirety of the match. In unison. Not 50-50. In unison, so. You know, it just kind of... We're not stupid, WWE. Cena says he's here to cut Roman down to size. You know, he goes to the whole blah, 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 regular Cena motivational speech. The champ is here. I've been doing this for years. I ain't going nowhere. They love me. They hate me. I'm John Cena. You know, typical Cena. Cena says, Roman Reigns says that he will soon realize what... No, John Cena. Sorry. John Cena says he will soon realize what failure is all about, and says he's failed all his tests, all the tests that have been thrown at him, and he says, as the guy, you are not showing your chops, and, you know, just basically saying you failed all the stuff that, you know, going on the mic, having great matches, getting the fans behind you. You failed all that, so how could you be the guy if you failed all that? Roman says that Cena is not needed in the WWE, and that Cena should just go to Hollywood. But he can't, because he hasn't really broken into Hollywood, has he? Even though he's been announced to be in the new Transformers movie. But he can't break into Hollywood, guys. But he did say that if he needs help, he knows a guy. Yeah, I'm related to The Rock. Give me a push. Believe that? Ugh. Fuck off. God, you should be a heel. No, you would be a great heel. God, if only Vince had the balls to admit that he was wrong and pull the trigger. If only. John Cena ends this whole promo with the words, "At no mercy, consider me like a drug test. You ain't getting past me." And he leaves a burned Reigns in the ring. And all Reigns can do is give him that shitty fucking grimace and chuckle. I thought that this promo was better than the others that they've had. I've heard a lot of people say that this one they're just getting worse and worse. I like this one a little bit better. I mean, they just both come off as hypocrites, if I'm going to be honest. Like, you know, like they say all this shit. Clearly they're doing it for the smart marks and like, oh, we're breaking kayfabe, hey there. You know. With CM Punk, it was real. When he did that infamous pipe bomb, it was real. Like, that came from a genuine place. This is a scripted promo from both of these guys. And you could tell that because Roman Reigns forgot a line. So, they both come off as hypocrites. I think it's going to be a good match. It's basically the modern day Stone Cold versus The Rock. But instead, only one guy's kind of over and everyone hates the other guy that's being shoved down people's throats. You know, what can you do? But Cena definitely came out looking better in the promo. Just trashed Roman Reigns as always. You know. Gotta build that guy up. Next matchup was Sasha Banks versus Emma. None of them don't even get an entrance. In the middle of the match, Nia Jax comes out entrance and all to join commentary, along with Alexa Bliss, who is out with on the commentary too. This is the build up to their match at No Mercy, which is now going to be a fatal 4-way. Emma was not very expressive in this match at all. Like, I don't know, I liked Emma so much before all this bullshit of the evolution of Emma shit. Like, I really did like her, and she had a really good match on the NXT pay-per-view with Paige way back, and she has potential, but well, you know, what are you gonna do? She's gonna go unnoticed because there's so much other talent on the roster, and they don't care about her. So, I mean, the fact that she's even in this fatal 4-way is amazing to me. It feels like they're throwing her a bone, honestly. Sasha lands the bank statement for the win. I mean, meh. They didn't really give him a lot of time in this match. It was really just a vehicle to talk and like branch out more on the feud that's going into No Mercy. Felt really weak. I mean, even the commentary from Nia and Bliss didn't do anything to forward the story going into the fatal 4-way for No Mercy either. So, just a complete waste of time, to be honest. I guess it was nice to see Emma on Raw, but we're gonna see on the pay-per-view, so you know, could have done without it. Brock Lesnar and Paul Heyman come out to the ring for his mandatory 6 Raw appearances. His contract. Paul says that his job is to sell you on the No Mercy pay-per-view between his client and Strowman. Regular great Heyman promo. I mean, what else can I say? The guy's just great. You know, you put a mic in his hand, you just want to listen. You just lean into the TV close just to listen, because he's just, Paul Heyman's so great. Definitely a Paul Heyman guy. Said something about what did Paul Heyman say? I'm gonna take you in the Brocktagon, and call Strowman out to fight Lesnar in the ring right now. We're gonna get this going on right now. Enter the Brocktagon. The Brocktagon. Strowman marches down the ring and begins to brawl with Lesnar. Lesnar lands a suplex, to which Strowman, taking a note from Road Warrior Animal, no sells, and whoop, gets right back up to deliver a choke slam and a running slam to leave Lesnar lying in the ring. Just fucking, even just the no selling of the suplex and getting right back up and just bringing the heat to Lesnar. Like, they're definitely making Strowman strong. Like, you know, it's hard to vote against Strowman at No Mercy. I really think that Strowman's winning the title. If we see anything else tonight on Raw, you know, but it really does look like Strowman's going to win the title. And he should, because Strowman has been the most entertaining thing on Raw. Or on pay-per-views in a while, too. So, definitely looks to be the man that will conquer the beast. Next up was Bray Wyatt, the Eater of Pins, versus the bizarre one, Goldust. Great to see Goldust on Raw. Definitely great also to see classic Goldust, you know, the little movie gimmick that he had when he first started. They always try to divert away from Goldust, even in the Attitude Era when he was the artist formerly known as Goldust, but they always go right back to the old Goldust. I mean, my favorite stuff from Goldust was with the Ruthless Aggression era, where he had like the Tourette's. After getting electrocuted by Evolution, he had that promo with Triple H, and I know deep down there in the cockles of your heart. Just great stuff. Wyatt used to think that he was different, man, but he thinks he's scared. He says, like Finn Balor, he likes to hide behind a mask, behind his paint. It's nothing more than armor. that he hides behind. Basically, Bray Wyatt's like, I thought you were cool, man. I thought you were cool, Dustin. Michael Cole during the match calls Bray Wyatt Bray Mike. Classic Cole. Short match, Goldust. He had a decent show in the beginning, but then, you know, he ate the Sister Abigail. And Bray Wyatt got the pin, got the win. You know. I mean, all in all, just showing Goldust on Raw is a win for Goldust, honestly. After the match, Bray washes off the Goldust's paint with a cloth wipe to shout, "He's just a common man! He's just a common man working hard for the man!" Bella comes out, and Wyatt runs like the bitch that he is. Who cares? He's gonna fight Finn Balor at No Mercy, and no one cares. No one cares about Bray Wyatt anymore. You've killed him. You've had him job out to everybody. Woo! He won the WWE title. And then immediately ate an RKO from Randy Orton. I mean, you can't save him. You can't. It's over, honestly. And it's a shame. It is a shame. Cut to backstage. Interview with Sheamus and Cesaro. Sheamus and Cesaro. They say that they see Gallows and Anderson as more of a threat than Seth and Ambrose because they are an actual team, and say that they will leave Rollins and Ambrose gasping for air and beat them down, and they will turn to their instincts and betray each other. And they do a little fist bump. Dean and Seth join commentary with Ambrose sporting some binoculars to watch. That was good. I loved it. They were really entertaining with the little amount of time they were for the commentary for the match that they were commentating on, which was the club of Luke Gallows and Carl Anderson versus Sheamus and Cesaro. Sheamus and Cesaro come out, and immediately Ambrose and Rollins take off their headset and immediately start a brawl on the entrance between Sheamus and Cesaro. The club help out and start beating down Rollins and Ambrose with Sheamus and Cesaro. So the match has been... match never even started, honestly. So it's a no contest too. But for a short time on commentary, like I said, Rollins and Ambrose made me laughing. They're just entertaining. Like, they know how to not take it seriously, and you know, they're good talkers, both of them. Ambrose and Rollins ask Kurt Angle backstage for a match against Sheamus and Cesaro and the club. Angle says only if they can find another two men to join them to make it a 6-man tag. We're gonna have ourselves a tag team match for a main event, of course. So what's a Raw main event without a 6-man tag? That little chestnut. Ambrose says they'll find someone even if they gotta ask Mickey Mouse, to which Kurt Angle replies, but that's not a real person. A vignette hyping Asuka to come to Raw very soon. So Asuka will be coming to Raw after she has vacated the NXT title and is recuperating from her injury. Best decision that they've had. SmackDown needs a kick in the ass in their division. I'm not gonna lie, they're struggling more than Raw, but you know, Asuka will do good on Raw. They had a whole vignette. They hyped up, you know, oh, she beat Goldberg's streak, you know, all that stuff. So it does seem like they understand what they're getting with Asuka. I mean, if she doesn't immediately come in and get the title and start destroying people for a little bit, they're stupid. But you know, definitely a good place for Asuka to be. Back in the locker room, Nia and Bliss react And Bliss bitches about Sasha saying her and Nia are better off, or BFF. Wait, these notes are confusing. Oh no, Nia Jax and Bliss react to the vignette about Asuka coming back, and Bliss bitches about it. Says that, you know, that they're BFFs, and Nia says, no, we're not. No. Bliss apologizes for slapping Jax last week and wants to still be friends. And Jax replies with, maybe. But says that she might not want to be friends after their one-on-one match tonight on Raw. So, hopefully that'll be better than the match with Sasha Banks versus Emma. It was just, this feud is just going nowhere. It's just, who cares? Elias Sampson comes out to the ring to debut a brand new song dissing Anaheim. Because nothing gets you more heat than dissing the town that you're in. Right here in Anaheim, California. During this nothing segment, Kalisto interrupts his song for their one-on-one match. So it's Kalisto versus Elias. Oh, that's right. He's not even called Samson because it's just Elias now. The crowd was just dead silent for this match. No one cared, not even me. Raw reached about that 10 o'clock mark, and I just immediately stopped caring about the whole show. It's almost like it should be a 2-hour show, USA Network. It's almost like you shouldn't jam 3 hours down our throats on Christmas Day. Let's see what those ratings do. Elias lands Drift Away for the forgettable win in this forgettable match. Like I said, it wasn't bad, but it was apparent filler. No one cared. It's 10 o'clock. Everyone just wants to go home. Next up is John Cena versus Braun Strowman. John, what the fuck's going on with your hair? You're letting it grow out a little bit up there. You look fucking stupid. You got that fucking bald spot on your hair, on your head. I mean, for God's sakes, like, fucking just get some paint. Just paint over the bald spot. Do something. It just looks like shit, dude. State of your hair. So this match starts up. Cena immediately shoved out of the ring by Strowman. Cena runs around the ring until getting back into a headlock by Strowman. Getting taken down. A smug Hawaiian security guard named Roman watches the match. Looks on. Braun no-sells a drop kick and delivers his own to bring Cena down. Cena fights to put Strowman in an AA, but Cena's so old. And his old man back just couldn't hold the Strowman. Slow physical dissection of Cena. Strowman was just dismantling this man. It's not as bad as how Brock did, but definitely just picking Cena apart. Strowman hits Cena with the steel steps. And for some reason that doesn't get a DQ. 'Cause fuck the rules. But then Braun delivers a running power slam onto the steel steps, leaving Cena dead. And Cena gets the DQ win. Because now it's a DQ. Now we DQ it. Don't DQ him when he literally attacks Cena with the steel steps. DQ him when he hits Cena with a power slam into the steel steps. Just fucking... what do we expect? It's been like this for years. Roman comments that the monster didn't show Cena mercy, and neither will he. And he returns to his day job of working at the local mall. I mean, Strowman looked good. That's all you get from the match. It was to make Strowman look good. That was the whole point. And he did look good. Looked very, very good. Next up, another edition of Miz TV featuring Enzo Amore. Please, God. God, why? Before that, though, Ambrose asks a random bunch of techies if they'll be their partners, but then come across Jamie Noble and Dean Malenko. And oh my God, I was like, oh man, are they actually gonna ask Jamie Noble and Dean Malenko? Because that would be great. But of course not. They say, nah, no. But then they come across the Hardy Boys and asks if they would be their partners, to which Matt responds with a wonderful, delightful. Michael Cole pimps out SmackDown for being better. Show tomorrow. Coming live from Sin City, of course. But now Miz TV starts, and Miz and Maurice announced that they are having a baby. And at first I was like, are they doing a bit here? But no, they just announced that they're just having a baby. Good for them. Good for them. Miz pledges that unlike Kurt Angle, he will be there day one. While reciting his poem about fatherhood, he's interrupted by an annoying Guido looking like a fucking clown. And that clown's name was Enzo Amore. Enzo bids a "how you doing" to Miz's wife. Because clearly a babyface just wants to bang another man's wife. Because that's the babyface thing to do. Miz just shoots on Enzo. Oh my God, it was so good. I marked that the whole time. Saying he's annoying and he doesn't know when to shut up, and that's why he gets kicked out of tour buses in the locker room. And he went to 205 Live because there wasn't room for him on Raw, and was just to get rid of him. Miz says that he reminds him a lot of himself back in the day. And he sees so much potential. He'd be the only one that sees potential in Enzo Amore. But he says he's too busy hanging with wannabe rappers, and says he doesn't have a 7-foot-tall meal ticket to prevent him from falling on his ass from the top rope. Enzo says that he is original. He's original. And he says that The Miz is a carbon copy of Flair and Bryan. People whose matches he's probably never watched. And says that he is a paper champion. Enzo challenges Miz to a match, and Miz says that he will dedicate this match to his unborn child and beat the living shit out of Enzo. Oh, man. Just gold. So it's Enzo Amore versus The Miz. Enzo runs out of the ring to grab a mic, saying that his wrestling sucks. Doing this while not wrestling. Good. Miz just beating down Enzo's head onto the apron. They keep on cutting promos at each other back and forth with the mics. They just keep on grabbing it. Both dry heaving into the mic as they do so. Enzo retorts with one of his promos, saying that he should ask that baby, who's its daddy? Your babyface, ladies and gentlemen. He again gets beaten down by the Miztourage and gets a skull-crushing finale. The crowd go, who's your daddy? And, yeah, just beat down on Enzo. And because of this was the best segment from Raw. God, fuck Enzo. He's just a piece of shit. If you want some juice on some juicy tidbits on the piece of shit that Enzo Amore is, watch this shoot interview by our video with Simon Gotch, because Simon Gotch just gives some real good insight on this wrestling fan, air quote wrestling fan. So it's time for your main event. It's the Hardy Boys, Ambrose Rollins versus the Club, and Sheamus and Cesaro in a 6-man tag match. A beaten Ambrose walks back to get a sinister a beaten Amore. I am awful at this. Your main event's going to be that, but the cut backstage to Amore walking back, beaten, and Neville is waiting there to give a sinister laugh in the face of Amore. Hope he just beats the shit out of him at No Mercy. Huge schmoz from the main event to start off as Jeff and Cesaro. Huge schmoz from all the teams in the ring to start off the match. It's Jeff and Cesaro to start off. Classic Jeff and Matt Hardy beatdown. Jeff flies over the ropes, drop down on Sheamus and Cesaro, who are outside of the ring. Gallows delivers a knockout kick to Ambrose, sending him dazed outside of the ring. Gallows brings him back in for a high kick that looked fucking great. Dean gets stuck in the opponent's corner for a time, beaten down by the heels. Classic. I think Cesaro was the one that put Ambrose in a pinfall, and clearly Matt was supposed to come in and break the pinfall, but Matt botches it by tripping onto the ropes, and I guess Ambrose had enough foresight to kick out seeing this. But, yeah, clearly Matt was supposed to break the pin, and he just tripped on the ropes. Jeff, Matt, and Rollins get knocked out of the ring. Ambrose delivers a DDT to Gallows to give himself breathing room. Dean makes the lukewarm hot tag to Rollins, who delivers a blockbuster to Anderson. Suicide dive to Gallows, trying to prevent a suicide drive. And to Ambrose. Matt hits the twist of fate to both members of the club. Sheamus and Cesaro walk off as Anderson eats a dirty deeds and takes the 3 count. Just a messy 6-man tag. Bare basics. You know, very flaccid ender to Raw. I don't know why they even chose to end the Raw with that. Just very weird. But Raw wasn't really that great, in my opinion. Raw, a very missable Raw, in my opinion. Very missable Raw. The best thing about it was really the opener and Enzo Amore just, getting shot. Call a medic for that, man.
And I won't be tonight. 'Cause all I've got left is my pride. And I will rise up. Break it out.
SmackDown comes to us live from Sin City in the Thomas and Mark Center in Las Vegas, Nevada on September 12th, 2017. Kickoff with a flashback from last week. Owens brings Shane McMahon to his breaking point and provoked him to attack him, saying things like, "Your family would be better off if you died in a plane crash." Shane unleashed a fury of shitty work punches because his work punches are shitty. They look like crap and they should not be a thing. Shane was then suspended from SmackDown indefinitely. And tonight, Vince McMahon returns to address Owens live. Owens comes out to the ring to claim that SmackDown has now become the Kevin Owens Show. Owens then has threatened to sue WWE over Shane's attack and feels that he has the company between his stubby little thumb and he could do whatever he wants, so now he owns SmackDown. So now we welcome you to the Kevin Owens Show featuring Kevin Owens. Owens' first decree is that he will fire his longtime rival Sami Zayn. Then he says that Tom Phillips and Byron Saxton will be forced to wear the same suit. And he clarifies with they won't be wearing the same identical suit. They'll be wearing the exact same suit. 2 guys in one suit. I'm sorry. Then he will cancel the Fashion Files due to just not getting it. And Owens invites Mr. McMahon down to the ring when suddenly Shane's music hits, but no, it's just Ziggler. Oh, I got zigzag. Yeah, you got zigzag there. Yeah. He's here to cut the chatter. He's here to make them downers. Come on. Owens is relieved that it's just a talented superstar instead of someone who is actually not employed. I said that wrong. Dolph just trying out a new entrance as he makes his way back. Daniel Bryan then comes out to inform Kevin Owens that he is not running the show, but he is Daniel Bryan. Owens lets Bryan know that he will still have a job as the resident janitor once he takes over, but Bryan says that he's not opposed to hard work or manual labor and suggests that Owens try it out himself, and foreshadows the coming of McMahon. Owens tells Daniel that he will not like what he says to Vince McMahon and walks to the back. The first match of the night is AJ Styles versus Ty Dillinger for the United States title as part of AJ Styles Open Challenge. Anything can happen when phenomenal meets perfection. As the two lock up, Dillinger goes for a back suplex, with AJ reverses. AJ looks to go for a German, which Dillinger reverses into a head takedown, into a running neck breaker, to a sitting AJ. AJ tries to suplex Dillinger from the outside, but Dillinger reverses, pushing AJ into the turnbuckle post to get some space. Dillinger takes control, beating him down, but AJ battles back out of the turnbuckle with a running powerbomb. Looked good. Two battle back and forth. AJ misses his Pele kick, but lands a clothesline on the running Dillinger, trying to capitalize. AJ about to hit the phenomenal forearm, but Corbin, the man with the balding head, comes down to distract AJ, but ends up receiving the forearm instead. Dillinger tries to roll up a distracted AJ, but only gets to 2. A reverse of the tiebreaker to a reverse of the Styles Clash. But by the end, the two just end up going back and forth. Lands the tiebreaker, only to get the 2 though. But you really could feel it. Oh man, he could have had this. It was so close. Leads to the finish. AJ locks in the calf crusher, forcing Ty to tap out as AJ retains the U.S. title by submission. What a great opening match. Another great opening match. An even back and forth between the two, really making you think that Ty was going to walk out with the title. Both men looked strong. Great performance in a fast-paced back and forth. Just really good. And I love Ty Dillinger. Ty's a boy. Ty is definitely a boy. Two men shake, and props to Ty, because as he was standing to shake, he was still selling a bad foot from the calf crusher. So, thumbs up for that. Baron Corbin attacks both Dillinger and Ty and hits AJ with an end of days, telling AJ that he will be his opponent next week for the U.S. title. Cut backstage as a android named Dasha Fuentes interviews the ravishing Russian Rusev. Rusev is not Russian. He's Bulgarian. I'm sorry. He's shown that by speaking regular English. Rusev discusses after returning to Bulgaria after his defeat by Orton at SummerSlam, his family greeted him with shame. Rusev knows what he must do to repent for his shame felt at SummerSlam. And that is that he must break a legend. And he walks off. Singh brothers come out to introduce the modern day Maharaja, Jinder Mahal, in this awful, very unfunny waste of segment. What a piece of shit this segment was. Oh my god. You could just tell that Vince McMahon wrote this for Jinder. You could just tell. Jinder makes unfunny dad jokes about Shinsuke's face. And someone should tell Marty Mart 316 on Reddit that someone stole screen caps, because Jinder used those screen caps to show the various faces of Shinsuke. And the crowd was dead silent through this pathetically written segment as he makes fun and laughs hysterically. The Singh brothers did the best selling of the night. They were selling these jokes, rolling around in the ring, they're just selling their hearts out. God bless them. Ugh. The crowd full for a USA chant. Just gives more fuel to the flame of Jinder. Don't fall for it. The best thing you could do to end this is just be silent through anything that Jinder is in. Just be silent. That's the best impact you can make. Just don't say a thing. Jinder advises Shinsuke to not take the match against him for the title, saying that the fans will only see him as his words, a Pikachu having a seizure, which I'm pretty sure is racist. He says things in his native language and thankfully walks out from this tragedy of a waste of time. My God. You're WWE champion. Yay. Cut backstage as Owens has a stagehand take notes about all the changes he plans to make for the Kevin Owens show. Owens confronts Sami Zayn, who is not too far by, telling him that he gives Zayn permission to break the promise that the two made, that they would never, ever go back to doing shows at the Armory in front of 42 people when they got the WWE. And he says that he will do everything in his power to make sure that Zayn is fired. Zayn responds saying that he would rather go back to working Armory shows than work for Owens. Good back and forth. I like that little trip down memory lane, just reminding you about the feud that these two have. Fortunately, Sami Zayn's not doing jack shit, but, you know. Up next, Tag Team Sin City Street Fight for the SmackDown Tag Team Championships between the Usos and Kofi and Big E of the New Day. New Day said earlier that they don't want the Usos to have any excuses, so Xavier Woods will not be at ringside during the match. Start off with a schmoz between the two as the New Day brings out a table from under the ring and set it up, only to get attacked by the Usos, leaving the table abandoned for now. The Usos throw Big E shoulder first into the steel steps as Big E attempts to battle back, only to get super kicked in the face while holding a steel chair thrown by Jimmy Uso. Jey Uso gets up, goes out to brawl with Kofi and throw Jimmy a kendo stick for a beat down to the back of Big E. Just vicious kendo shots. Looked savage. Usos tie Big E's hands to the ropes, but Kofi comes back for the save, battling the Usos away and grabbing the kendo stick for the retaliation. And Kofi just wails on Jey Uso, even breaking the kendo stick after vicious shots by the kendo stick. Looked awesome. Just awesome. Jimmy tries to hit Kofi with the chair, but gets hit by it himself as it reflects over the turnbuckle as Kofi gets away just in the nick of time. Kofi goes up and throws Jimmy the chair, delivering a drop kick into the chair from the top rope. Both Usos escape to the outside for a breather as Kofi throws a chair right into Jey Uso. Just throws it. Oh, man. Looked really good. Oh, my God. Just such a good match. Kofi goes for a turnbuckle nothing as the Usos are out at ringside only to trust fall into their hands and then into the barricade. Big E awakens, delivering a belly-to-belly on Jimmy and rams the head of Jey into the announce table. Big E brings it back into the ring, battling the resilient Usos, delivering a double splash to both. Jimmy Uso reverses a big ending and tries to get a pin with the help of a foot elevation from the ropes, but only gets to 2. But it was close. Big E finally hits the big end on Jey, but Jimmy runs in to break the pinfall. Jey hits a super kick and enziguri to put Big E in his dazed animation and take him down with a double super kick. Usos head up for the double oos, but Kofi pushes Jey off and into the table at ringside from earlier, because always remember, if a table is set, it has to break. Big E and Kofi hit Jimmy with a horribly named tag finisher, the Midnight Hour. Looked good, but just what the fuck is that name? And pick up the pinfall, so the New Day are, once again, your WWE SmackDown Tag Team Champions. These two teams are fucking killing it with these matches. Incredibly hard-hitting, fast-paced demolition derby from both the Usos and the New Day. Both are they're just really out to steal the show every time they come out. They showed WWE that you're gonna make us the kickoff show for SummerSlam. We'll show you how much of a mistake that was, and they are just killing it. You know, and I think I would have gotten tired of these two feuding, but they just bring the level up and up and up and try to outdo it each time, and they did it with this one. Really good match. Up next, it's the Glow Queen herself, Naomi, as she has her SummerSlam rematch against the SmackDown Women's Champion, Natalya, for the title. Naomi in the, up next graphic. Looks like she's about to go on vacation to Jamaica. Naomi comes out, looks like she's about to go do some pimping on the streets of Sin City after this match. Just looks like a whore, really. So there's no really nice way to say it. The makeup that she had, ugh, awful. Joining the commentary team for this match is Miss Money in the Bank, alongside Carmella, who's alongside with a dog-collared Ellsworth. I'm gonna be honest, this match sucked. Sick of Naomi. I'm just sick of it, because I tried to give her a shot, man. You know, I actually tried to give her the benefit of that, and I tried to give her a shot. And I was like, maybe she's good. You know, she has some stuff to her. But I'm tired of it at this point. I'm sick of them going back and forth. That's it. Naomi had her title shot. She had her moment in the sun. I think it's about done. Naomi hits Natalya with her stupid dance kicks that she does in every match, and Natalya slams Naomi face first into the turnbuckle. The two clash in the air after a double crossbody crash. Naomi with more kicks, enziguri, and a high kick to Natalya. Naomi misses the split-legged moonsault, and Natalya capitalizes with an attempt at her shitty sharpshooter. Oh my god, what a shitty sharpshooter. Just looks like crap. You call yourself a heart. Naomi kicks out, sending her out to ringside. Carmella heads off of commentary, stripping the headset off after realizing that she can't walk to it and taunt Natalie at the same time. Naomi flies out. Flies out and hits both Natalya and Carmella and Ellsworth with a crossbody out ringside. Natalya throws Naomi back in. Well, not before throwing her into the steel steps. No, it was steel post. I'm sorry. I misremembered that. She lands her sharpshooter again, and this time gets the submission to retain the SmackDown Women's Championship. Dull match. Nothing new from either of these. What a very missable match, indeed. Not a good week for women's wrestling, except for the Mae Young Classic, which put Raw and SmackDown women's matches that week to shame. Backstage, Aiden English is in the middle of a serenade to himself when Owens comes in to be an audience for his performance. Owens asks English if he'd be willing to sing the Kevin Owens theme song for when he takes over SmackDown, and English auditions as Kevin Owens looks on with a glowing smile like a kid in a candy store. And Dolph Ziggler returns to the show. He's here to show more entrances. He's here to make an ass of himself. Come on. His first elaborate entrance is a mockery of Bayley's entrance, complete with inflatable arm flailing tubemen. Ziggler then comes out to do Warrior's entrance, complete with WWE shot plastic Warrior mask and a granny selling boo from the crowd from the Warrior's wife, Dana Warrior. Ziggler remarks that all the fans want in a star is face paint, tassels, and them running around like an idiot. Ziggler says that fans don't care about him, and that he doesn't care about them either, and walks out. I don't know either. Next up is the Hype Bros versus Shelton Benjamin, my boy, and Chad Gable. Chad and Mojo start off with Mojo rolling around doing dog-like movements, very Rick Steiner-esque. Shelton gets the tag, and they battle back and forth, with Mojo delivering his signature Dragon Whip that looks fucking great. Mojo's pretty good. Mojo's a worker, you know. Mojo's alright. Mojo football tackle clashes with Benjamin and mows him down. Gets the tag to Ryder. Oh, I'm sorry. Woo, woo, woo. You belch it. Gets the tag to Ryder. With the tag team beat down to Benjamin. Ryder going for a pin, but Gable breaks it up. Mojo tries to tackle Gable but ends up ramming into the ring rope. Ryder goes for the Rough Rider, but Benjamin reverses it into a crisp spine buster. Tag to Gable as Benjamin holds up Ryder, and Gable ascends to the top rope to land, I think, what appears to be a aided power bomb. Looked a little weird because Gable was trying to reach Benjamin for the tag. It looked like they were a little a little weird. Gable pins Ryder for the 3. Short but decent match, I thought. It's great to see Benjamin. These two, they look like they're doing good. They look like it's still finding themselves, but I could see them being a really good tag team. Gable and Benjamin extend the handshake, to which Ryder walks off a gloomy Gus. Owens heads to the ring to wait for McMahon to appear and address him. McMahon comes out. This is the first time these two have ever been face to face with one another. It's kind of weird to say, but yeah. Interesting factoid there. And it would definitely be an interesting interaction. Vince confronts Owens, saying that if Owens goes through suing the WWE, that he will immediately be fired. Sorry. Felt like I was summoning the devil there. Vince says that he hasn't lost a single lawsuit because he is a billionaire. Vince says that the reason he suspended Shane was because he didn't finish the beatdown that he started on Owens, and then went into graphic detail about Owens' bowels and organs being displayed on the floor. Vince said Shane will be reinstated, and at Hell in a Cell, he and Owens will square off in the Devil's Playground. Owens agrees to this match only on the sole condition that Vince promises that if provoked, he can beat a McMahon senseless. Vince gives Owens his word, and the two shake and exchange verbal compliments. But Owens then suddenly delivers a headbutt, cutting Vince's forehead open. I think what happened was, because I don't think he took a clean headbutt down. I think what happened is that Vince kind of bladed in the back, and they hit it with makeup just to make it appear that regardless, fucking looked great. Vince struggles back up to his feet, and Owens punches him back down and kicks him in the gut. And then Owens delivers a super kick and finally ends his dismantling with a splash from the top rope. Vince took his bumps and took his lickings like a man. Wow. Props to McMahon for selling all that and taking all that abuse. Whew. Stephanie confronts Owens as she heads down to aid her father, as Owens heads back with a "oh my god, what have I done" face to end the show. SmackDown, definitely the better of the two shows. Definitely way better matches than Raw. I don't know if the kickoff of Raw, the kickoff of SmackDown was better. But I think Ty Dillinger and AJ Styles and Ty Dillinger put a way better kickoff match than the one on Raw. So that was SmackDown and Raw, and now we get a glass of piping hot NXT Java. Live from the Full Sail University. Center of University. September 13th, 2017, it's NXT. Kickoff with a women's tag handicap match between Billie Kay and Peyton Royce versus Ruby Riott. 2 weeks ago, Ruby matched up with Peyton Royce. During the match, was distracted and gets... What the fuck is going on? Okay, let's go again. Cut to a flashback of 2 weeks ago. Ruby was in a match with Peyton Royce, and during that match, she was distracted. And Ruby... What the fuck is going on? Do this one more time. 2 weeks ago. 2 weeks ago, Ruby matched up with Peyton Royce. During the match, a distracted ref missed Kay pulling Ruby out of the ring and delivering a Shades of Kay, knocking Ruby out and allowing Royce to deliver a crisp bridging fisherman suplex to get the 3. Last week, Ruby talked with NXT General Manager William Regal to request a handicap match between the two. Regal refused to accept her request of a handicap match but would instead accept the condition of a tag match, even though it was just a handicap match that they were calling a tag team match. Very weird that William Regal didn't stop this, because it was just a blatant disregard of his ruling, but fuck it. Single leg takedown to both Royce and Kay to start things up. Kay delivering a forearm to a distracted Ruby in the middle of a Royce beatdown. Royce and Peyton bring Ruby into their corner for the beatdown, but what's this? Nikki Cross, who is creepily lurking in the crowd. But whose side is she on? Riot tries to fight back, but Royce tangles her in the ropes and locks in a really cool looking submission, stretching her and bending her leg behind the Riot. Like, she basically, like, she stretched her out and she, like, put her leg behind Riot's head with the aid of, like, the ring ropes, like, to apply pressure. I don't know, it might be called something, but just looked really cool. Tag to K, with the two teaming up and delivering a reverse double suplex, having Ruby land face first onto the mat. Kay goes for the 3, but gets a 2, which is followed by an extremely loud shrieking of yells to the ref by both Royce and Kay. Shrill. Very shrill. Ear-shattering shrill. Tag to Royce, who holds Riot in place as Kay goes for a forearm shot, but no! Riot gets out of harm's way, having Kay hit her partner instead. Riot goes to the opposite turnbuckle to get her breath, but Cross comes up to the apron and gives Rui a chick's tit cat tag. Cag tag. A cheeky tit tag. Cross explodes into the ring, knocking down both the iconic duo, as they refer to themselves as, and delivers a swinging fisherman neckbreaker to Billie Kay. Cross then tags Riot back in and leaves the match. Okay. Finish. Riot heads up to the turnbuckle and lands a diving senton on Billie Kay to get the 3 and the win. It's a good opening, I thought. Weirdly interesting conditions. Despite how a lot of people feel about Peyton Royce and Billie Kay, I like them. I think they're really good heels. Because you gotta remember, a good heel is someone that makes you hate them, and their shrill shrieks and them just being there. You know, that's a good heel. If you're getting heat like that, you're a good heel. That's the end of the story, really. I mean, you can't. If you're getting dead silence, then you're nothing. But if you're getting boos from the fans, then you're doing your job. I mean, I think they're just a way better Lay Cool. You know, honestly, I think they could do way better. They're just a way better Lay Cool. You know, they irritate you. You know, with their shrill voices. You know, they tag team up on people. They play the numbers game, as though he likes to call it. And you know, that's what a heel's for. You know, that's what a heel should do. Flashback to the Performance Center. John Gargano is giving an interview, but is interrupted by Riddick Moss and Tino Sabatelli. The two mock Gargano for his broken tag team of DIY. DIY. I don't know why it looked different there. And his loss at TakeOver Brooklyn against Andrea Almas. How the fuck you say it? Andrade Almas. There it is. I knew I could get it. Did you have faith in me? I didn't. Gargano issues a challenge to have one of them get in the ring with him tonight, as they cockily walk off. Cut to a backstage interview with No Way Jose. Jose is asked to comment on his issues with Lars Sullivan, which Jose calls Lars an animal. Oh, he's a fucking animal. Oh. and a freak who attacked him at TakeOver Brooklyn during an innocent conga line. Jose feels that he needs to be taught a lesson and challenges the Animal Sullivan to a match next week on NXT, which is this week. But this sort of gives me a Carlito vibe with the way he talks and stuff like that. I like it. Carlito's cool, man. Head back to the ring. It's Johnny Gargano versus Riddick Moss with Tino Sabbatelli in his corner. The two lock up with Moss having the power advantage and taking control. Gargano tries to fight back with a vice grip-like headlock, but is tossed aside by Moss. Moss continues the fallout assault of Gargano, just dissecting Mr. Wrestling. He really dominated the first half of the match. It really looked like they were gonna have Gargano job out to Moss. Moss applies the abdominal stretch onto Gargano, but Johnny fights out, only to be rammed into the corner for the continued one-sided beatdown. Moss yells at Gargano, "Is nothing without DIY." Gargano unleashes some southpaw with a vicious forearm. He reverses a tackle into a turnbuckle, which gets punished with a seated roundhouse kick and a clothesline. Moss is then put to the outside. Moss attempts to get back in, but gets a baseball slide for his trouble. Gargano hits a senton bomb from the apron to Moss at ringside and looks to capitalize, but gets distracted by Sabbatelli and gets hit with a big boot by Moss. Gargano reverses Moss's slam into a Gargano escape, but Moss is able to get the rope. Gargano is visibly unbelieved by this and sits motionless in shock. He just looked so defeated. But Moss capitalizes on a stunned Gargano with another clothesline, but Gargano quickly gets back up and gives Moss a slingshot spear. It looked like an M to me in my notes. Doing great, kid. Gargano quickly attacks with a slingshot spear, hitting Moss and getting the 3 count to win the match. The real point of this match was really just to show the doubt that Gargano's starting to have on himself. Just really a vehicle to foreshadow that. I thought the match was decent. Mostly just a vehicle to advance Gargano's character. Up next is the Street Profits, Angelo Dawkins and Montez Ford versus the Ely brothers, Gabriel and Early. Yearly. Yeah, or Yearly. It's Yearly. Yeah, I saw his name and I was like, Urian? From Street Fighter? No. Street Profits seem to... My god, the Street Profits. They look to be the new primetime players with a little of that crime time in them. Really like their entrance and the gimmick of coming out with the little party cups. The crowd had all their cell phones up with a picture of the party cups. I actually did hear on the Solo Monster Sounds Off, which is a way better podcast than this, so you should go listen to it. But give us a shot too. But I heard from Solo Monster did say that they actually did bring actual party cups, but they were confiscated by security. So instead they decided to show it on their phone, which is a good substitute. It's understandable. Really like them though. They're fun. They're energetic. They're entertaining. I like the prop thing. And they're super over too, which is important. Like they look great. The Ely brothers. I'm gonna be honest. The only The only parallel to a tag team I can give them is they kind of look like a more roided out, intimidating Basham Brothers. They just look really generic. So it's Angelo and Yurley to start off with a lock 'em up in the ring. Yurley powers Dawkins into the corner, and Yurley removes Dawkins' headband, the source of his power. Dawkins tags in Ford after getting his headband back, who enters with a fucking beautiful explosive flip into the ring, runs right into the ropes, and delivers a seated drop kick onto Yurley, with Dawkins aiding in with a splash. Fucking looked great. What a hot tag in, and what a way to enter the ring from a tag. Fucking awesome. Gabriel runs in to get some payback, but misses and gets an aided leapfrog for his trouble, and the same is done to Yurley. Ford runs into a clothesline from Gabriel, who performed some twin magic with his brother. Ford gives the warm tag to Dawkins, who explodes out and delivers a corkscrew turnbuckle splash to both Ely brothers. See, I keep on wanting to say Early, but it's not. It's Ely. Stupid name. Just fucking dumb. Dawkins hits a pop-up spinebuster, and Ford hits back with a big splash from the top rope, and the Street Profits pick up the pinfall. Like I said, man, fucking great, explosive tag team. But just a great, energetic babyface tag team. If they don't get called up to the main roster, WWE is stupid, because these guys are hot. My God, like, I think they're one of my favorite tag teams right now. After seeing this, wow. Good shit, man. Good shit. Cut backstage to an interview with William Regal on the state of the NXT Women's Championship, to which he replies, "I'll get back to you." But Triple H would be the one to get back to us, stating on ESPN that Kairi Sane will be battling for the NXT Women's Championship at the next NXT pay-per-view. So we know one of the participants, but who will be the next? Maybe we'll find out this Wednesday. So it's time for your main event. It's the UK champ Pete Dunne, the Bruiserweight, going up against my boy Wolfgang for the United Kingdom Championship. Definitely a lot of boy love this week. The Bruiserweight applies a wrist lock as the last king of Scotland replies with a body slam, but it is not enough to break Dunne's hold. Dunne keeps Wolfgang grounded as he continues to stretch, tear, manipulate the joints of Wolfgang. Wolfgang gets Dunne into a waist lock with Pete breaking away. Wolfgang locks in a cravat, and still not enough to get Pete Dunne down. Multiple belly-to-back suit slams from Dunne, followed by a gut wrench and a flying cross body to Dunne by Wolfgang in the corner. Wolfgang heads to the top rope looking to capitalize on his newfound control of the match, only to eat a DDT by Dunne onto the ring apron. Dunne gets in a double wrist locked combo complete with body scissors, but Wolfgang powers Dunne out and slams him into the mat. Dunne with a enziguri to Wolfgang in the corner, but Wolfgang answers with a savage spear. Look, fucking great. Wolfgang delivers a oh man, a cum-worthy 450 splash to Dunne at ringside. Wolfgang follows up with a moonsault from the second rope. Dunne makes space with a vertical suplex and takes to the top rope. Wolfgang quickly heads up with a superplex to Dunne. Wolfgang heads back to deliver his high angle senton bomb, the howling. But Dunn reverses it into a arm breaker, but Wolfgang powers out again. The two exchange forearms, big boots. But Wolfgang hits Dunn with a pop-up power slam, but only gets the two. So close. Dunn with a German. Wolfgang quickly to answer with a vicious clothesline. Just, oh man, the back and forth. Wolfgang attempts another pop-up power slam, but Dunn reverses it into a forearm shot to the face. Dunn lands the bitter end and gets the win to retain the UK title. Slow-paced match. Even though that sounded like a great back and forth, it was still a little bit slow-paced. You know, submission grounded a little bit. I like Dunn's submission. I usually don't like submission-like stuff, but I like Dunn's like bending of the fingers and his facial expressions. It makes it a lot more impactful and more entertaining. Just an impactful match from the two. Like every time something was done in this match, it always felt impactful. Just great clash of technical and aerial combat from these two. Killed it, and I just loved each exchange and maneuver done by these two. You know, every maneuver felt like it meant something and was done to give the other the advantage. Dunn celebrates his victory, but suddenly is greeted by Bobby Fish, Kyle O'Reilly, and Adam Cole, baby. Thus, the beatdown to Dunn begins, but Wolfgang comes in, the babyface that Wolfgang is, and attempts to save Dunn, only to be left to the vultures, as Dunn scurries away, leaving Wolfgang to fend for himself. There was a little point in when Dunn looked like he was going to come in, and the crowd was like, "Oh, is he going to do it?" But Dunn shittily just, grabs his title that was still in the ring. What a dick. Just real good stuff. Real good stuff. Cole delivers a Shining Wizard to Wolfgang, and the three continue their mayhem throughout NXT. Really good show from NXT. Primetime players were fucking awesome. The main event, always good to see the UK boys, especially Wolfgang. Good to see Wolfgang again. Just some great stuff. So, for any other sensible wrestling podcast, that would just about do it for the week in wrestling. But we're going to be doing a little something special here on Lariat Latte. Ladies and gentlemen, it's time for my segment of Sitting Through Impact.
911 operator, what's your emergency?
Help me, they're in my... Suicide, come alive. Take the pain from all who just can't see the light. Dark savior, he can save you. Take your nail and be the one they crucify. Suicide comes alive.
Not live from wherever they taped this fucking thing. September 4th, 14th, 2017. It's Impact Wrestling. Computer noises and radar readings means it's time for Impact. Kickoff is Braxton Stutter versus Garza Jr. Don't know who any of these men are. I'm sorry. This is the first time I've been watching NXT. Hopefully I'll learn more about them. Stupid, fast-paced back and forth that looked awful and was just... It looked like they had a lot of those, like, those, you know, back and forths and, like, the spots that Jim Cornette likes to bitch about on his podcast. But it instead of, like, you know, when it's done with, you know, like, a cool purpose and stuff like that, I think they did a bunch of that shit in this match because I think they just thought it was cool. Six-sided ring does nothing but make Impact think that they are cool, and it made a lot of the movement in this match look super fucking awkward and weird because you got a six-sided ring in a very tiny ring. Garza blows a kiss and throws his pants to Allie, who is with Braxton Sutter, who I guess is his girlfriend. Josh Matthews, of course, says that she was asking for it because of the way that she was dressed. She was dressed like a normal person. Josh Matthews. I love. I was looking online because I wanted to maybe get some information before this awful Impact. And I like how I guess they have an article thing that Josh Matthews does, but I love in the beginning that says, this is Josh Matthews' opinion, and Josh Matthews' opinion does not reflect the opinions of Impact Wrestling. So they just have to make sure that they don't have Josh Matthews bury them. I mean, they do that themselves, but they just need to make sure that Josh Matthews doesn't do it. Finish this match was a springboard flip from the top that gets Garza Jr. the 3 and the win. One thing I loved was how the crowd was visibly not cheering, but the added crowd cheering that was done in post-production tried to make you think that people did care about this match. But no, they were visibly not caring at all about this match. That is really blatant and awful audio dubbing. At least the WWE has some class when they do it. Saxon has an argument with Allie, but then decides to blow it off with a hug, but Allie continues to be mad. And that was it. Pretty much that was Braxton versus Garza Jr. Next up, oh my god. It is the Impact Grand Championship match between El Hijo de Fantasma versus Ethan Carter III, or better known as EC3, the Impact Grand Champion. Oh my god. I was so almost ready to turn the fuck TV off. I guess, so, if someone could explain this to me, I guess these matches are 3-minute round style matches. What? For what reason? What does it add? So, a 3-minute match is matches that you have to have someone job out to, or someone to get squashed in. 3-minute round matches shouldn't be for a championship. That's just my opinion, and I think that they are doing it because they think it's cool. And it makes them different. But you know what? Yeah, it makes you different, but it also makes you fucking dumb. Nice arm drag takedown by Phantasma. After the 3 minutes, I guess the judges decide who wins the round. After a 3-minute matchup, why? Why? EC3 wins the first round because he did. I guess he did better stuff than the other guy based on by the judge's decision. Nice knee strike followed by a double knee strike to EC3. Phantasma with a cool looking submission that didn't matter because of the time limit. That's always good. But he won the round. I guess maybe because he did that stuff. Oh god. So I'm already having migraines watching this. Trying to process the stupid stipulation being thrown into my face at breakneck speed by the commentary team. The commentary team, by the way, oh my god, I'm going to cut WWE more slack. What an awful commentary team. I forget what the hell his name is, but one of the guys just has a very irritating voice to listen to throughout an entire show, and he sounds like a fucking cartoon supervillain. It's time for NXT, and we're gonna have it live here. Back and forth match tonight. What do you think is gonna happen with Los Ingobernables? It's fucking awful. Ugh. Just so much information being fed to me at breakneck speed with little to no explanation. But Phantasma seemed cool. That's what I got. Round 3 starts. Can't wait. EC3 with a somewhat cool looking consecutive powerbomb. Yeah. Exchange of forearms, and EC3 lands a TK3, which I think is a decent looking finisher. But the finisher is not great when the opponent is able to get up from it easily. Phantasma's like, I'm not going to sell your finish, mate. And Phantasma shoots at EC3 through the ropes, which always looked great. Whenever you shoot through the ropes and it connects, love it. When it doesn't, you risked your stuff, but I don't love it. But he did with this one, so it looked good. EC3 lands a 1%er, but didn't have enough time to land the pinfall. But it's okay, because EC3 wins by judge's decision. So he retains the Grand Championship belt. I liked how when the judges' decisions popped up, there was never anything lower than a 9 or a 10. No other numbers are used besides 9s or 10s, so. What a fucking pointless fucking stipulation. So dumb. Phantasma grabs Hector Guerrero, upset by the decision that he has made against him. Pagano comes in for his debut, and Phantasma and himself beat down EC3, but Eddie Edwards runs down to the ring for the save. I'm assuming that these two were a tag team or something. I don't know. The two have a stare down, but EC3 just walks away. Didn't like this match. Didn't get the stipulation. Could not care less. Cut to a vignette with LAX and Conan gives the boys the great idea that they should prepare for their big match tomorrow by going down to the strip club and getting fucking wasted on booze. Conan says that the ref will be paid off and their shady and will be paid off and other shady things as he extends his arm onto the stripper next to him. Highlights of the 4-team tag match from the GFW tag team titles from Tijuana in the pay-per-view called The Crash. This is the tag team match that was referred to by LAX. Actually looked to have been a really good match from all the highlights that they gave from all 4 teams. I wish I could have watched it instead of this. Teams involved were LAX, 2 other teams that I couldn't bother looking up, I'm sorry, and OVE. OVE go and confront LAX after the match at their, I guess their gym or something. They just hung out near like an empty ring. They are cornered by the LAX team and are scared off by the numbers game. Grotto comes out to have his final match against some jobber as he is being deported due to his visa expiring. His big farewell match ended with a big boot to some jobber. Man, I'll sure miss him. Grotto thanks the fans for being the best wrestling fans in the world. Easy now. But Joseph Park rushes down to the ring, saying that the offices of Park and Park Associates have opened a sports management division and are offering Grotto a work visa. So he gets to stay and is the first superstar to be managed by Joseph Park and his Park and Park Management Corporation. To be honest, I actually thought that this was stupidly funny, and I got a laugh out of the whole thing. So this probably was the most entertaining thing on the entire show. So I'll give it props for that. It was stupidly funny. Interview with Johnny Impact, better known as Johnny Mercury, also known as Johnny Mundo. All those are the Johnny names. And says he's looking forward to his match tonight against Low Key. Lashley comes into Cornette's office and asks him for his release from his GFW/Impact contract so he can go back to MMA. Cornette says he will release him, no questions asked, if he confronts Moose, to which Lashley agrees. Next up is a Falls Count Anywhere X Division Championship match between Trevor Lee and X Division Champion Sanjay Dutt. The Carolina Caveman and Dutt brawl outside. Dutt does a crossbody to Lee while being seated in a chair at ringside. Looked really good. Lee throws Dutt into the steel steps as they take it into the ring. Lee hits a suplex from the turnbuckle. Both take the brawl back outside of the ring. Lee throws Dutt into the barricade, and now it's a brawl that's leaked out into the crowd, man. Brawl takes it outside of the Impact Zone. Conley, who was with Trevor Lee, team up on Dutt and beat him down with a trash can and a trash can lid. Sanjay battles back, hitting Conley with the trash lid himself, and hits a super kick to Lee. Lee throws Dutt groin first into a guardrail that is outside, and super kicks him and gets the 3 count, making Trevor Lee your new X Division champion. I thought the X Division match was actually nice to see. Because it's been a while since I've seen a hardcore brawl like that. Like, go to the outside of the arena and stuff like that. I thought they put on a decent walk-in brawl with some fairly hardcore spots. I would be down to seeing these two battle it out again. I thought it was pretty good. Not amazing. Not the best hardcore match I've seen. But pretty good one. Pretty good. Backstage, Richard Justice, the jobber to the stars. The big boned jobber marks out to American Top Team, an MMA group who has convinced Lashley to quit Impact. And he gets beaten down. Actually pretty funny. Next is the wrestling debut of the new TNA knockout, Taya Valkyrie. I liked the Triple H WrestleMania-like entrance with the crown and the menacing edgelord villain cape. It looked pretty cool. She's going up against Amber Nova. Taya lands a really good sit-down powerbomb, lifts Noah's head before getting the 3, even though she had it. But she sticks her tongue out to the fans like, "Bleh. I'm a villain." Taya picks Nova back up and plants her down for the win. Quick squash match to build Valkyrie, obviously. She looks cool, though. So, we'll see what happens. Eli Drake cuts a promo talking trash on Johnny Impact and Low Key with who is also alongside the hell is his name? It's Chris Masters, but he's not going by Chris Masters. It's Masters. They both smell something, though. It's a smell of desperation. Saying the two can go ahead and work to gain a title match, but whoever wins will just end up defeated because no one can touch Eli Drake. It's time for your main event match as Johnny Impact goes against Seth from King of Fighters. Just kidding, it's low key, but my god, he looks like Seth from King of Fighters. Low-key doing various fighting game stances before getting taken down by Johnny. Low-key puts Johnny into a rope-assisted dragon sleeper. Johnny lands a standing starship pain. Johnny hits Low-key with a awesome sliding German suplex. Low-key lands a springboard kick to Johnny, and Johnny rebuts with the same. Johnny goes for his finisher, but Low-key moves away and delivers a running drop kick into the turnbuckle. Low-key goes for the Warrior's Way, but misses, injuring his leg, and Johnny capitalizes by going up to the top rope and hits the Starship Pain to get the 3 count and becoming the #1 contender for the Impact Championship. Johnny and Low-key had a really good back and forth. Great innovative moves between the two for a great quality match between these two innovative wrestlers. It's really good. I thought it was a really good match. Like, Loki's fucking great, and Johnny can go. So, I expected good things from this match regardless. Chris Adonis. That's what his name is. Chris Adonis. It's just Chris Masters. Come on. Eli and Chris Adonis come out for the beatdown on Johnny, with Adonis putting in the Adonis lock. Just the master lock. It's full Nelson. And Drake with the gravy train, leaving Johnny down and defeated. Backstage, Cornette tries to convince Bobby Lashley one last time to stay, but no dice. Lashley said he is going back to MMA, where he's appreciated, and walks out to confront Moose. God damn it. Backstage, Taya Valkyrie confronts and tells some woman that to look at her very aggressively. She just says, look at me, and then leaves. Okay. Bobby Lashley comes out to tell the fans that he has been forced to make a choice between Impact and MMA, and he has chosen MMA. Moose comes down and the fight between the two begins with a cheap shot by Moose. Lashley delivers what appears to be a back. Oh my god, I'm sorry, I'm getting tired from this already. Impact, talking about Impact is making me tired. Lashley delivers a power bomb back first to Moose onto the apron. Well, no, at first it looked like he was going to do that, but then he decides to just do a shitty looking powerbomb onto the floor instead. That's what it looked like. That's what it was. They begin to fight out into the crowd as they fight near a woman with her hand on her face, looking uninterested at the brawl of two big roidy men before her. Why would you? Someone should screen cap. Just such a good visual. Moose delivers a vicious big boot to Lashley, and then hits him with a trash can near the entrance ramp, because Lashley hits a neck breaker to Moose onto the stage. It didn't really look that impactful, honestly. It was hyped up to be, but it wasn't. Moose hits Lashley with a spear that had a nice flip at the end at ringside. It looked great. Like, he speared him and then whoop, just flipped right back on his feet. Looked fucking awesome. Moose looks to deliver another, but gets jumped from behind by American Top Team. Security comes out to break things up, but gets beaten and tossed for their trouble. And so, sitting through Impact comes to an end. You know what? I'll give Impact this much. It surprised me that first hour of Impact was very, very tough to sit through. There is potential in TNA. There's some good stuff in TNA. But it's a shame that it's just watered down by fucking trash. And who cares storylines? Just fucking awful. So I guess now we will talk about the news that just actually broke earlier yesterday that WWE Hall of Famer Bobby the Brain Heenan unfortunately passed away at age 73. Now, I don't think it's been reported how he passed. Let's take a double look now, because we're going to get into the news. Let's see. Bobby Heenan. Although starting off wrestling, Bobby Heenan. Good voice by Bobby Heenan. Let's see Bobby Heenan go. His little video. Nah, it doesn't say. It's probably due to health issues and stuff like that. I mean, you know, he had really, like, yeah, he had throat cancer for a while, and I was just looking at pictures of him. He looked very skinny. But, you know, it's sad to see. You know, it's very sad to see. So, apparently, just in, that the Greensboro Coliseum has announced that WWE will be officially resurrecting the pay-per-view Starrcade with 2 steel cage main events. No, that was something different. Yeah, apparently they are bringing back the Starrcade pay-per-view, which is weird. It will be at the Greensboro Coliseum on November 25th, and it will have a grudge match between Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens. It'll have Bobby Roode versus Dolph Ziggler. It'll have appearances from the Hardy Boys, the Rock and Roll Express, Ricky Steamboat, and many more. A United States Championship triple threat match between AJ Styles, Baron Corbin, and Rusev. So apparently Rusev will be going into the United States title picture. The SmackDown Women's Championship will be contested in a steel cage against North Carolina's own Charlotte Flair and Natalya. So it's safe to assume that Natalya will be having the Women's Championship until November. And finally, for their main event, there will be a WWE Championship steel cage match between Shinsuke Nakamura and Jinder Mahal. Very interesting that they're bringing back Starrcade. Weirdly interesting. Apparently, Brandy Rhodes had something to say about the announcement for WWE bringing back Starrcade. As noted, there were discussions that WWE would bring back WCW named events in the near future. They confirmed that Starrcade was coming back. It'll be SmackDown Live exclusive. Oh, and it's going to be a network special. Okay, that's awesome. Daughter-in-law of late Dusty Rhodes and former WWE talent Brandy Rhodes, who is also the wife of Cody Rhodes, did not take the news very fondly, apparently, as she is quoted in saying on Twitter, "Starrcade was created and delivered by Dusty Rhodes. WWE didn't want to do it while he was here. Now they want to do it and not give credit." I mean, they just announced it. And I'm sure maybe Goldust will be there, but he's Raw. I don't know. WWE are being dicks to the Rhodes family. I don't know. Just let Cody have his fucking last name. I don't get that either. So stupid. Oh, and apparently Jim Cornette has gone from Global Force Wrestling after just a few weeks of television. Particularly the inability to cross the border. Oh, okay. So because of their new location for their Bound of Glory pay-per-view, which will be at the Aberdeen Pavilion in Ottawa. So apparently because of that, no, it's not because of that. I think it has something to do with it. Apparently, Jim Cornette has trouble crossing the border due to his very sketchy assault record, which he has stated numerous times that he has gone on assaults and tears through cities. From his years as a manager that was ran in 2010. Since then, he'll be unable to go to Toronto for wrestling work. As a result, he will not be at the next set of tapings, and subsequently done with the promotion. Cornette is expected to go more into this on his upcoming podcast, so we'll hear more about why he left. Then. Interesting. Weirdly interesting. Okay, so I guess Cornette's gone. I guess that was one good thing that that Impact had going for it that doesn't have anymore. What else we got here? Nikki Bell's on Dancing with the Stars. Who fucking cares? Apparently, one of the Mae Young Classic competitors, who I really like, Princessa Suge, was unmastering a CMLL Anniversario event. And Toni Storm won a big tournament in Japan. She was crowned the winner of this year's 5-star Grand Prix tournament from the Stardom promotion in Japan. Awesome. Yeah, apparently she hasn't signed with WWE, which is a shame. She's probably, I would feel that they probably would have extended an offer, but maybe she just declined. Former Ring of Honor champion and TNA superstar Davey Richards is apparently set to undergo knee surgery and cancels all his remaining bookings for 2017. He says, I can't apologize enough to everyone, but I have to cancel my remaining bookings for 2017. I'm going to need surgery on my right knee. I've always been someone who has bore my heart inside the ring and kept it real with the fans. I've known to, as you call it, no-show events. Truth is, I've been battling knee issues since 2006 when I tore my knee the night before my first ROH match. Alright. So Davey Richards will not be performing. Oh, so I guess let me just double check. Yeah, Nothing really else here that looks extravagant to report. Apparently, indie star Mr. 450 was cleared of domestic violence charges. Oh boy. This seems very interesting. Pro Wrestling She is reporting that Mr. 450 has been cleared of charges of his domestic violence case involving a WrestleMania 33 weekend incident in Orlando with his now ex-girlfriend. Orlando police confirmed no charges were brought on anyone involved in the alleged incident and called the case unfounded due to a lack of evidence proving the incident happened. Apparently he was accused of choking his girlfriend at the time, Lindsay Snow. And apparently her lawyer said it was a verbal debate, but it never got physical. Multiple witnesses supporting those claims. Oh boy. Yeah. I guess we could talk a little bit about my experience with Bobby the Brain Heenan, which unfortunately I'm sad to say is not really much. When I was growing up with wrestling, Bobby Heenan really wasn't around. Most of my experience watching him was with WCW Nitro and the WCW pay-per-views, which he was very entertaining. I loved his... He had a really good snarky rebuttal for a lot of things. Better than Jerry the King Lawler, who has shitty dad jokes half the time that don't really age well. Bobby doesn't either, but I don't know. I always liked his delivery, and he was a really good heel. Best manager of all time. I mean, you could just look at his managing record and just see all the talent and stuff that he's managed. Just, it's sad to see him go. I mean, you know, he was also battling a lot of things. He didn't really have a Twitter account. You know, he wasn't really doing much in his old age and stuff. But I know he was going to some shows. But it's sad to see him go, you know. I mean, the poor guy has his voice, his iconic voice taken him by cancer. And that's a shame. I'm definitely probably going to look more at Bobby the Brain Heenan. It's a shame now I'm doing it now that he's passed. But, you know. And I wanted to see more of Bobby the Brain Heenan. And I've always enjoyed what little I did see of him from Nitros and stuff like that. Definitely one of the best. The best wrestling manager of all time. And it's sad to see him go. I think that's just gonna about do it for this first ever episode of Lariat Latte. Once again, hopefully next week will be a little bit more engaging, a little bit more entertaining, with the rest of the crew with me present. Thank you all for listening and tuning into the first ever episode. Tip of the elbow to you all. Don't forget you tip your waitress. Dig it.